Accidents, or incidents as we prefer to call them, don't just happen. They're the result of a whole series of events that have occurred in advance. This series of events may have started quite recently, but more likely they began quite some time ago. Days, weeks, months, even years in the past, to create the general conditions that enabled an incident to occur. That is, the preconditions. The importance of investigation is that by doing so, we establish all the causes of what has happened. The immediate causes, the underlying and the root causes of the incident, so that we can prevent the same or worse happening again. Because once we know what has gone wrong, we can do something positive about prevention. Everybody understands that major incidents must be investigated, but the good news is that most organizations experience few or none of these catastrophic events. Somewhere around 95% of all incidents are minor, even near hits or misses, and by investigating these, we establish the general conditions that exist in the organization that lead to incidents. Where these are below standard, we can do something positive about them and make a real difference that not only prevents big incidents occurring, but ensures better systems, better performance, and profitability. In fact, this is just good management. Kelvin Top Set is a long-established, highly effective incident investigation and problem-solving system that's both flexible and easy to use. Top Set is based on systems thinking where all of the elements are related to each other, and we must examine each of these to discover what changes have enabled the incident to occur. Top Set has three major components: planning, investigation, and analysis, and this is further broken down into 6 key steps. The first step is to define the problem with a simple statement of what has happened and the consequences.
Under emergency conditions. So is that our starting point?
This is important. It ensures that we understand precisely what we are going to investigate and don't get sidetracked. A good test of a statement is what you would say in a court of law, only what you actually knew to be true at this stage. Fuller evidence will emerge as the investigation proceeds. Simple examples: a ship sank. The consequences were loss of vessel and cargo with potential loss of life. A train crashed. The consequences were damage to property and potential serious injury. At a simpler level, an object fell from height. The consequences were a near hit or miss and potential injury. Step 2 is planning your investigation. This might seem strange, but time taken to plan actually speeds the whole process and ensures thoroughness. The planning starts by forming a team. Try to keep the team small, but do choose individuals with mixed backgrounds and experience so that the incident is viewed from different standpoints. At the simplest level of planning where to look for the causes of the incident, we start with the Top Set investigation card, which has over 30 indicators split into 6 main categories: technology, organization, people, similar events, environment, time, all set against a time sequence. Please note that this is not a checklist. It is a set of indicators to help us look at what has changed or is different and shows us the general conditions that allowed the incident to occur. These are key signals, and as you can see, they cover all aspects of the organization, from equipment and maintenance to weather and, most importantly, organization and people. For, as we shall see, this is where the root causes lie. For larger investigations, we have an extended planning chart with hundreds of indicators, which are considered by the investigation team, highlighting those that seem most relevant. Strange as it may seem, this exercise really does speed up the investigation and will often have an accuracy of up to 70%. We now move to step 3, the heart of the matter, the investigation. Unsurprisingly, this is the part that takes the most time, and there are a number of key steps within this. Visiting the scene comes first. We get so much information by just looking at not just the immediate incident site, but all that surrounds it, for this is what gives us the indicators to the general conditions. Make drawings where appropriate. These can be rough sketches or more detailed diagrams, but they are extremely useful visual representations. In longer investigations, the Top Set Investigation Workbook is a valuable tool to help record all details during the investigation. This can run in parallel to more precise recordings, such as on the computer, but it is really helpful to the practical investigation, and you can refer to it while writing the report or at any point in the future. Taking photographs is an obvious thing to do, and it is so easy with modern digital equipment and video cameras. Take as many photographs as possible and from every angle. You cannot take too many pictures because later you will regret pictures not taken, and you will want to include some in your report to help explain what has happened. But do put something in the picture that helps explain the scale. In some industries, the parts are so large or so small that the report reader may need a guide to actual size. A ruler or some form of scale is useful. Checking records may be boring and difficult to do, but it is essential. Choose a member of your team who is good at details and have them go through items such as permits to work and production records. This is such an important part of the investigation that it has to be done by someone who has that skill. Interviewing is an essential investigation skill. Talking to people gives us so much of our information that it can't be overemphasized. Please understand that memory is imperfect and affected by stress, particularly in serious incidents. To get the best from people, a relaxed conversation or discussion is better than a formal interview, and best results are obtained with open questions and careful listening. It can often help to use photographs, models, and diagrams to assist the discussion. Where possible, use a note-taker because it is difficult to concentrate on writing and discussion at the same time. But share your notes with the interviewee, as total transparency is vital in gaining cooperation. We can learn a lot by finding out how equipment was operated. Were safety guards, devices, or systems bypassed? This is often a cause of accidents. Reconstruction and simulation can take many forms and can be extremely useful in helping to explain what happened. At its simplest level, this can be a diagram or simply a discussion using shapes such as tableware to explain what happened. But today, we do have access to sophisticated computer graphics at moderate cost. The old adage that a picture tells 1,000 words is particularly true with good graphics. Constructing a storyboard is right at the heart of Top Set. Here, we express facts, ideas, and hypotheses. You're probably familiar with brainstorming. Well, this approach is much better and allows everyone to contribute their own thinking. We use Post-its or stickies, even electronically when we use Top Set software, to express what we have found or think we have found. This is a totally flexible system, and yes, it does create duplications and broad thinking, but this is good because we can filter it later. This is an exercise that involves everyone, and that is important because every thought is valuable. And naive thinking in an unconstrained way, as children do, is to be particularly welcomed. It is important to repeat, storyboarding is at the heart of Top Set and good investigative practice. We cannot overemphasize the importance of creating a time log, history, or timeline of all of the events running up to the incident. There is no other sensible baseline because we all measure life's events by time, and using a time base helps us explain in a logical way what happened and when. And of course, we also need to record who did what at what time, because people are always at the heart of the incident, even if it is only action or possibly inaction at some point in the past. In our experience, the timeline can be much larger than expected, with underlying causes, preconditions, or latent factors going back 10, 20, or in one case 50 years. It is not always as extreme as this, but factors over time are at the heart of every incident. When we are investigating, there are two particular things to look for. The first is change, because change, or something different, is present in every incident. This may be a new person, a different rule or procedure, or a degeneration such as rust over a period of time. It is essential to find that change, for without this difference, the incident could not have occurred. All organizations that use Top Set have good controls, so where there has been a failure, look for defeated or bypassed controls, barriers, or defenses. Remember that personal protective equipment, while important, is the last line of defense. Step 4 is analysis. This is where we produce a root cause diagram or cause tree. Please be aware that this cannot be done accurately unless all of the previous parts of investigation, and in particular the storyboard, have been done first. A root cause diagram is a visual representation of the process of failure, and when constructed gives a great deal of information. Taking the information that you have already generated, start with your statement of what happened and the consequences. Then, the immediate causes or triggers for the event. Then ask the question, why, at each stage, until you can go no further. You have exhausted the possibilities from the information that you have. Please recognize that your root cause will almost certainly lie in organization and people, not in technology. What you have seen so far in this short program has mainly illustrated investigation using paper-based systems. This is very important as it helps investigators express themselves and share thoughts and ideas. However, TopSet does have specific computer software programs to assist the investigation. These start with the easy-to-use, straightforward black box program for low-potential incidents where a detailed report, a cause tree, and SMART actions can be produced in less than an hour. For larger incidents, TopSet investigator software helps manage, investigate, and analyze the whole investigation and captures all of the information which is presented in final form, which can be added to and edited to make a final report that can be used to meet the requirements of the organization and, where appropriate, external parties. This can be done by making recommendations that are, in effect, SMART actions. Specific. Is it clear what has to be done and by whom? Measurable. Will we know when it has been done? Achievable. Is it possible? Realistic? Can we afford it? Timely? Is there a completion deadline? Investigation is, in effect, another word for problem solving. And to successfully solve problems, you need an open, flexible, and yet structured approach. TopSet provides this and helps you ensure that all the causes of the incident are established and that steps are taken to avoid further incidents in the future.